Hi there, Ashley here with We Make Systems Sexy. Yet again, here to talk to you about a cool feature in Dubsado because Dubsado has an endless amount of pretty neat features, which is why we love Dubsado. If you are already a Dubsado user or it's something that you're thinking about, you may have noticed that when you share a form, or maybe even when someone who uses Dubsado already has shared a form with you, that it says like hello.dubsado, a whole bunch of letters and numbers and all of that afterwards. And it doesn't look very pretty. Well, no worries, because within Dubsado, you can do something called white labeling. White labeling is just a fancy way of saying that you can actually customize your Dubsado URLs within Dubsado and make it actually look branded to your website or your domain name. Even if you don't have a website set up, if you have a domain purchased, you can make that work too. So obviously, if you do not have a custom domain, again, you don't have to have a website built out. You just have to actually have a custom domain that you own. For example, mine is wemakesystemsexy.com. So that's my custom domain. I do have a website though. But if you don't, you would need to go and actually purchase a domain first and host it. So most companies, you can go through something like Bluehost or HostGator or any other myriad of hosting platforms, right? So that's going to be your first prerequisite if you don't already have that set up. But yeah, basically what this is going to accomplish is instead of it saying hello.dubsado.com, blah, 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 it might say hello at domain name.com, for example. Whatever you actually decide for that first word to be, can be portal or hello or whatever you want that to be is customizable. Now, as I mentioned, there are so many different hosting companies. So there's not one single set of instructions for how to actually set up the custom URL mapping. So if you get stuck at any place, then you might want to actually reach out to whoever your hosting company is for exact details. Basically, what you're going to have to do is create a CNAME within your hosting company, right? So if you already set up the SPF record to actually verify your outgoing email in Dubsado, then you've probably already been a bit through this process in the back end of your hosting platform. You just will need to decide what that CNAME is going to be, what you want it to look like, and that's going to be that first part of the URL. Just like we mentioned, it can say like hello or portal or, whatever first word you want that to say. And you can be creative if you want, but those are just some examples. But you would log into your hosting platform, locate the DNS settings. Those should be easy to find, found in the cPanel, or maybe like a settings area that's more advanced. But usually it's going to be somewhere on one of those front pages, DNS settings, cPanel, something like that. From here is where it gets a little bit more technical. You'll need to add a new DNS record and select the type as the CNAME. And here's where it can kind of differ from host to host, but it might be something called like host or record name, etc., where you can actually enter that first word that you chose, hello or portal or name, whatever, whatever you want that word to be. And then there's going to be specifics according to each hosting platform. In the data or value field, you just need to actually enter ssl.dubsado.com. And that's where it's actually going to be pointing that record to so that it actually connects up with Dubsado. Now, if this is all feeling a little bit too technical, it's very likely that your platform will actually help you to run through these steps if you just tell them what you're trying to do. A lot of the stuff on the back end of my website, because I am not a web designer or developer, a lot of times I will have my hosting platform help me through that piece, just because it can get a little overwhelming if you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm probably going to mess something up if I continue here. So it really isn't too complicated, but if you're feeling that way, you can reach out to support and very likely they can help you get this taken care of and very quickly. Now, once you get all of this set up on that end, it might take up to 72 hours to actually become active. It usually doesn't. It's usually pretty quick, but just give it a little bit of time and that can be normal. if you're not seeing that change right away. Once you've done that part in the back end of the hosting platform, go back into your Dubsado account, go into settings under domain names, and you're going to see under custom URL mapping where you can actually verify that URL. Right there, you're going to actually enter what you created within that CNAME record and then click verify. Once the little green icon or the green pops up on the page right there in Dubsado, then that's how you know that it is connected and registered. If you see any errors pop up, then I would definitely check with your host and maybe see if they can help you through the technical part of it. But basically, in a nutshell, this is how you're going to white label or customize your Dubsado URLs so that when you send out a proposal or any other kind of form, it's going to look like it's connected to your website, because we love when things are branded to us and our business. And as much as we love Dubsado, we don't want it to say Dubsado all over the place. So white labeling is a really cool feature that Dubsado does allow you to do if you have that domain name. You might have some questions, so shoot them my way if you do. Bye.